Good morning. My name is Beth Duffield. I'm with the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce, and welcome to our Ready2Work Meet the Employer Job Expo. I want to introduce Nick Orifis this morning with Advanced Auto Parts here in the Nashville area. I'm going to turn the presentation over to you, Nick, and I hope all of you watching learn some great information about Advanced Auto Parts and consider working for them.
So Beth, thank you for that. Hello, everybody. So my name, as Beth said, is Nick Orifis. I'm the HR manager located here in actually La Vergne at the Advanced Auto Parts Distribution Center. Would like to take this time maybe to go over a few slides with you all, just tell you a little bit about our facility, where we're located, what our size is, and a little bit what we do, and then at any point, obviously, answer any questions if somebody is to jump on the call. So this DC opened up, actually, we took over this building 4 years ago, but the actual building was constructed in 1999. A little interesting fact, back then it was a 3PL facility that serviced Starbucks prior to us moving in here. We did sign a 15.5-year lease. It is a 450,000 square foot facility. We're about 30 feet high ceiling height. We have 61 dock doors. 20 of those we use for outbound trucks, 28 we use for incoming trucks, 8 reclamation doors, and we'll talk about that later, and then 5 pallet and recycling doors. So it's probably one of the smaller facilities I've been involved with, but when we look at height wise, it is pretty high, so we're able to go up instead of out, so our footprint is not as large as some of the other facilities, as you can see near us. So our transportation, so basically we average about 15 replenishment order truckloads per day. So that basically what that means is we're sending 15 trucks out to various stores every day. We service about 260 stores and 11 independents. So this company here, actually some of our stores are independently owned, so franchise individuals, so we do service some of those. We also service up to 450 PDQ stores. What PDQ is parts delivered quickly. And roughly what that means is if you were to go into one of our stores and you need a part and they do not have it in stock, it's very nice to have a DC in the area close. We can actually get that part to you within the next few hours, sometime throughout that day. So pretty neat service. With that, you can actually, a lot of our stores that are close can actually come here to the DC and actually pick up parts too if needed. So for our transportation, we do not have our own transportation team. We use a third-party vendor, which is Penske. So Penske drives all of our over-the-road trucks and delivers to our stores. Currently, our staffing in the building, we have 245 team members. We average anywhere between, I'd say, 15 and now 25 contractors or temps. And then currently we are at 16 members of management. I don't know if we have this on the slide, but we are a 2-shift operation. So these numbers split across 2 shifts. And we are open 7 days a week within some of our job functions. So a little bit about our staffing. As you can see here, we are, one of the biggest things we as a company try to do is champion inclusion. Where I say we're really proud here in this facility, I've been in distribution now for 20 years, and we tend to see a very large skew in male to female employees. Here, I mean, we've got several job positions that anybody can do. We train everybody on every piece of equipment, and every job function. So we continue to not only look for your normal warehouse workers, but we understand now with the way the economy is and the workforce that we've got to start looking for individuals that are non-traditional. And that means looking for those transferable skills from individuals outside of the realm of warehousing or distribution. Something else that we're kind of proud here is our diversity. I was fortunate enough 2 years ago to partner with the local refugee center. And I would say right now, we probably have about 18 different dialects of language that are spoken out here. Sometimes it can be challenging, but we have individuals from pretty much all continents within Africa, Bhutan, Malaysia, and that have all migrated here to the Tennessee area, and they have found a home here with us. So, I mean, pretty diverse. It's probably one of the most diverse facilities I've ever been to. So, really kind of interesting on that. And that always brings a different flair when you're at work, and we'll talk about that later, but, you know, you learn about other cultures, and it just really helps integrate, you know, individuals' cultures into our culture here. So where are we at right now? So because we're a new distribution center, our tenure is obviously lower than maybe some of the other companies that you're going to hear from, just because we've only been around for less than 4 years. We did have some team members transfer from some of our other DCs, but a majority of everybody that we have hired is here in the area. So as you can see, we only have one team member who's been here for 5 years, who was actually a transfer, one from 4 years who was actually a transfer. But if you kind of drop down for 1 year, you can see 2 years. Those are a majority in the 3 years. These are individuals that we hired from day one here in this facility. So unfortunately, with unemployment, you know, pre-COVID was pretty low in the area, just like probably some of my other peers within the industry. You know, you hate saying this, but it is hard recruiting out here because there is such opportunities for individuals throughout this area here. I'd say that would be, you know, the Rutherford County, Davidson County area. So a little bit about our work environment. You know, at the end of the day, you're going to spend a majority of your time at work. That's just the reality of it. So, I mean, why not try to enjoy some of that while you're at work? So, I mean, we really try to, besides pay, we really try to recognize team members. We try to offer them, you know, some different things than just normally, you know, bringing your lunch, using the old school vending machines. We try to, you know, recognize team members, as you can see in the bottom right corner. You know, just as much as yesterday, we cooked out for our team members for Labor Day. So we're always really trying to at least provide a little more because we understand sometimes you're going to have to be away from your family. So, you know, holidays, we do cookouts or we cater in meals. Or you know, we have a couple grills here that, you know, at any time we like celebrating and recognizing our team members. Understanding where we're located at, that we are pretty close to, you know, fast food or just different restaurants for lunchtime, but because you really only get about 30 minutes, we have really partnered with a lot of the vending trucks or food trucks in the area. So we try to bring those straight to the DC so individuals have those opportunities. Maybe, you know, just want to have something different than the normal kind of bag lunch that you bring every day. So in the top left, I know a lot of companies are going to what's called the market vending style. For some of those who are probably as old as me on the call, you probably remember the circle wheels of death, which you never know what you're going to get out of those. So, you know, a nice thing here is a lot of this is fresh food that's being delivered in every day. And it's sort of just like walking into a convenience store. You set up an account or you can use cash or debit card, and basically walk in, you scan your product, self-service, and, you know, obviously you don't have to worry about bringing change or anything. So obviously with technology, Apple Watches, Apple Pay, all that stuff, you can use that here. So, you know, again, one of those things where you're not having to remember to bring something, you know, especially if you work a morning shift and you forget your wallet or something like that, you have the opportunity to do that. So again, something else that we try to provide. Engagement. So, you know, again, going back to what I said earlier, we really try to involve our team members in everything from safety to just enjoying and recognizing. You know, as you can see through some of the pictures, you know, every year, Halloween, we have a Halloween contest. We have, you know, unfortunately with COVID, we've kind of had to put our ping pong table and our cornhole boards up for now, but hopefully when that goes away, we'll bring it back. We have tournaments. Again, just really trying to enjoy coming to work and giving some opportunity. And then of course, the last thing, safety. I mean, at the end of the day, excuse me, you will be here, you know, 90% of your time or at any job. And, you know, we want you to come in safe and we want you to leave safe. You know, nobody ever wants to have to make that phone call to a family member that there was an injury that took place or something like that. So we definitely discuss safety every day. And we involve our team members in that when it comes to, what we can do better, what we can improve on. Because, at the end of the day, as managers, it's not only our job to kind of give direction, but it's also to listen. And it's, who do we listen to? Our most important asset, which are team members. And they're the ones who are on the floor every day. They're the ones kind of seeing those opportunities to correct and make change. And that can be as small as, a stop sign's missing in one of the aisles and we need to get that fixed. Or it could be as large as maybe replacing some products so a team member is not having to, lift above their head, which could cause an injury from, lifting too high. And so those are things that that we listen to all the time. That's kind of it on the slides, but a few other things I'd like to talk about. I mean, as you look for what you would like to do with your future when it comes to work, I mean, I think the biggest things you want to look for is, what a company has to offer. I mean, obviously it's always about pay, but, I would definitely dive into benefits. Like most companies, we offer Blue Cross Blue Shield, 401k, HSAs, FSAs, and in most of your companies, you're going to do that. But, ask those questions on interviews, get as much information as you can. How long do you have to work until you get those benefits? Make sure you're asking those questions. I think the other thing too is, we obviously give a tour anytime we interview somebody. Make sure when you're in those tours, you're asking the questions. If you see something that you just don't understand, ask those questions. So a good example, we use four, and I apologize, I don't have the pictures here, but we use 4 types of forklift here. And one of those is what we call a cherry picker. And if you've ever been in a warehouse, it's the actual lift that you have to attach yourself to, and it takes you up into the air. And when you're going up, 25, 30 feet in the air on a piece of equipment to grab a box, it can be a little scary. And so it's okay to, let that person who's giving you a tour know, hey, I'm scared of heights. This is something I can't do. That's okay, because we're never going to force anybody on a piece of equipment. We have several different job functions, from picking to stocking to loading trucks, unloading trucks that do not require equipment. But with that being said, we do our own in-house training. We put you through our own video forklift training, and then we will test you on the equipment and ensure that you're proficient before you even drive on the floor when it comes to actually picking products. So, that's really kind of my spiel when it comes to Advanced Auto Parts. Obviously, you've seen our stores, so I guess ultimately we deliver parts to our stores. If you've ever been to our stores, and hopefully in the future, drop by one of our stores, ask questions there. Ask, because we have opportunities within our store too. Maybe retail's the route you want to go. One of the neat things that I've noticed in the 4 years that I've been with Advanced Auto Parts is the partnership between the stores and the distribution center. And we tend to, for lack of better words, we tend to get people that transfer from the stores to the DC, and then from the DC to the stores, depending on what path that the individual wants to go to. Just because you come in one day and you start off as an hourly picker, that doesn't define where you're going to be 5 and 10 years from now. A lot of the managers here in this building started off right out of high school as hourly employees, and now you've got operation managers and general managers that run an entire building. So one of the nice things that we offer, and I'm sure a lot of companies do, are learning journeys that we've actually created over the last 2 years. We are looking to roll out a learning journey for our hourly team members, and this is going to be a program for high potential team members that are wanting to go to that next level. And it's a 12-month program. It's about 5 to 6 month intensive. And when I say intensive, that's going to be, some classroom work, some online stuff. And then the next 6 months is going to be really working with your peers across the entire network, and building those relationships with them that you can continue to use throughout your time with us. So, at the end of the day, we are a job. It does not require a lot of, and I don't want to say this negatively, but it doesn't require a lot as long as you're willing to learn. We've got team members that are going to train you, and they want to see you succeed. because at the end of the day, no company wants to see turnover, because that just continuously hinders our growth and our ability to service our customers. So as we bring individuals in, we want to make sure they get the tools and the knowledge they need to be successful. So at that point, I would open up for questions, and I don't know if anybody's been able to make it on the call. If not, I may let the team maybe ask some questions, just to, maybe some questions that they've heard in the past that I can try to answer.
Nick, we do have a couple of folks that have joined us, but I'll ask, if someone is interested in applying for a job with Advanced Auto Parts, what does that process look like?
Yeah, so you can actually go to our website, and I'll send that to you. I apologize, I don't have it up in front of me, but it's basically advancedautopartsjobs.com, and then it will ask you, if you actually put in Nashville, it'll pull up every job from retail and distribution center that we have open as a company.
And what does the process look like? So they apply, and then if they get chosen for an interview, what does that all look like?
So once somebody applies, either one of the admins here or one of our corporate recruiters will reach out, and they'll do a phone screen. At that point, they will recommend and send that information to the local team. They'll schedule a time for that individual, obviously, and we've gotten really flexible. We can actually do interviews on first and second shift, especially if a team member has a first shift job, but really can't make it. We can do that interview during second shift hours. We've done interviews at 8 o'clock at night, and that's really worked out well, especially for team members who want that second shift. So once that's set up, you would come in, you would meet with a member of management. They would tour the facility with you. You would have that face-to-face interview, and then at that point, because we are at we're looking for probably anywhere between 40 and 50 people. So a lot of times they're making offers right on site. Once the offer is made, we would then schedule you just for everything. Most companies are going to do, background check, drug testing. And then depending on how long that takes, we tend to do an orientation once a week. Our orientation process consists of 2 days onboarding, and then your first week's going to be training with a trainer. And then you're moved on to the floor where you would actually start working with a trainer.
Nick, we do have one question. Do veterans receive, whoops, I just lost the chat box. Hang on just a minute. Do veterans receive preference, and does Advanced Auto Parts have a veteran liaison or contact?
Everybody receives preference from me, but yes, I mean, we recognize veterans. Unfortunately, this year with COVID, we did have a partnership with Fort Campbell, but with COVID, we've kind of had to put that to the side. But yeah, they would just apply as normal, just like everybody else. And, again, we're going to hire who we feel like is the right person, but they would definitely just they could actually contact me if they'd like. And I'm sure, Beth, you've got my contact information. If not, I can get that to you.
Yes, we can send that out with the recording to all of our participants today. Just your email address. Does that work?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
And you mentioned that you've got 40 to 50 positions that you're currently trying to fill for the La Vergne facility, the Nashville area facility. And can you tell us, I know you run 2 shifts. What are the time frames for those 2 shifts?
So first shifts are going to run, the start times there are going to be anywhere between, we actually have one department that was coming in at 4:30, but average first shift is going to start anywhere between 6 and 7 in the morning. And then your second shift is going to start anywhere between 2:30 and 5, depending on the department. Every shift is scheduled 8 hours, but I can be open and honest with you. I can't remember the last time we worked 8 hours. So we are working a lot of overtime. So anybody who's interested, I would definitely, in your mindset, we're probably averaging more about 9.5 to 10 hour days.
Great. Are there any other questions from the folks that are on the call with us this morning?
Yes.
Dale, I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Can you type your message into the chat box, please?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay. And while Dale is typing, there's another question. Hang on just a minute. Are there any part-time shifts that students could potentially apply for?
So when we first opened the DC, we had several part-time. It just kind of fizzled out, but be honest with you, and I think that you and I talked about this, as a company, we're actually starting a PWD program. So that's hiring persons with disabilities. We've actually just made offers to 2 of our first individuals. And we've recognized with that, a lot of them may require part-time. So we are possibly going to open up our part-time availability. We have to be very careful sometime with that because as you know, we only have so much equipment and so much room. So, I would say now in our minds, we could probably bring on 25 to 30 part-timers across both shifts. So it is, for lack of better words, yes, there is an opportunity there for part-time shift.
Great.
I think one of the questions that's probably not asked or will be asked. So I don't want to screw anything up. I don't know. I was able to bring this over to the share screen. I don't know if you can see that. Looks like an Excel sheet. If not,
yes, we can see that.
So this is our starting rate. So our starting pay rate is $13.50, and as you can see, we have a progressive increase in our pay up to 5 years. And then any team member that does work second shift would get an additional $1 an hour on top of the base pay.
And you mentioned on benefits, do full-time employees get, do they get 100% of their insurance covered, or is there a sharing that goes on with health insurance?
Yeah, so it's Blue Cross Blue Shield. I believe it's 80-20, so we'll pay 80% of it, and then the premium will be 20%. And then within that program, obviously it's going to depend on if you're single, married, with children, so there'll be different plans that they can choose from. Team members are eligible after 90 days for their benefits. And then, of course, 401k, they can start putting in immediately. The company does not start matching, however, until 1 year of service. And they will match 3% dollar for dollar, and then the additional 2%, they'll match up to 50 cents. But you are vested day one.
So another question, are you hiring, or you mentioned that you don't have your own trucks, that those are managed through
Penske.
Penske? Do you know if Penske is hiring for truck drivers?
So from my understanding, we just brought Penske in. We just transitioned from another provider. So from my understanding, they are full, but I could definitely find out and get that information to you. So Great. If an individual's interested, again, they could probably communicate with me through email, and I can get that information over to Penske.
Great. So we'll make sure your email is included. We also had a request for a flyer that you could share. One of our participants said he'd love to send that out to students at MTSU who are graduates or currently seeking employment.
Yep, I can do that. And then whoever that is, if you want to give them my email also, I would love to connect with them also.
Great. And any other questions?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
And then, once I talk to that individual, maybe that's where we start looking to build our part-time program, if that's something that they're interested in, or they feel would work. So.
Great. Well, so I don't see any other questions. So in follow-up, for those that are participating either currently or who are listening to this recording, we're going to send you Nick's presentation as well as a flyer and his contact information. You can find current job openings at advancedautoparts.com/jobs.
Yes, ma'am.
And again, we'll include Nick's email address so you can follow up with him. We want to thank Nick and Advanced Auto Parts for participating with us this morning. And we hope that you all have a great day and good luck on your job search.
Thank you.